Yo, what's up guys? How's everyone doing? Hope you're all having a fantastic day, guys. I hope everything is working fine. Last night we had a few issues with our stream. So again, of course, please let me know, is everything working okay? But with that, let's just get right into the stream. Of course, guys, make sure you smash up those likes as you are coming in, subscribe, tick the bell, and all that great stuff if you haven't done already. And let's just get right into the analysis now, guys. Really, what we're seeing is a continuation of this same pattern that we have been in for a very long time. Okay, Sen, all is good. Thank you very much. We've been having a series of dump-offs. This is a very clear, definite downtrend that we've been in. I mean, you can trade these continuation patterns and basically short Bitcoin at every continuation pattern. And so really, what we are seeing right now is everything being the same. I mean, it's lining up. We got a massive dump-off in terms of volume, followed by decreasing volume. And with this volume continuing to decrease a little bit, what that is really indicating is that we are probably ready for yet another dump off, probably on Sunday or Monday. This is just going off what the chart is telling us. And then of course, you know, you consider we breached our 4-hour EMA, 4-hour Ichimoku support. Our EMA is catching up with us, which resulted in 1, 2, 3 rejections on the EMA 13. You guys know how much I love exponential moving average indicators. We switch on our EMA ribbons, and of course it is giving us yet again more resistance. 1, 2, 3 rejections. You know, we're in a downtrend now, and it's probably going to follow the same pattern. Now, what I think, okay, like, you know, like I said, we're in this continuation pattern, and the chances are we're just going to dump again. This is looking just plainly at this chart. What I think is possible in this case is that since we dumped so far, what was this? This was yesterday, right? So that was Friday. We dumped quite a bit, and I think that really what's going to happen is probably for Sunday at least, we are going to go largely sideways. I would be sort of surprised if we do dump down to $6,800. And then Monday, I think, is, you know, when we get the volume coming back in, it's one of those, you know, official sort of business days. We are going to get a little bit more volume in the market, and of course, that will result in some more organic movements of Bitcoin, shall I say. I mean, if we take a look at coin market cap real quick, let's go ahead and refresh this page. Volume still isn't great across the market. I mean, it's dropped today, so, you know, we're down to 10.7 billion. Of course, this is expected given that it's a weekend and a lot of people taking the day off, but it's very weak volume. I mean, this is the same volume we saw when we were you know, within the 6,000 range a month ago now. So not great. You know, this is not what we want to see. I guess, you know, like I said last stream, the good thing here is, I mean, we're in a continuation pattern, we're in a bit of a bearish pattern, and so seeing volume decrease while we're in this pattern is potentially a good thing. It does help affirm that every rich guy in a swimming pool, it does help affirm that perhaps when the volume does return, since it's not coming in from the bears, the volume will come in from the bulls instead. Potentially. Yeah, I mean, it's not a very good indicator, but it's there, and it does tell us that. You know, we go over to the one-day chart, and of course we have also dropped below our EMA support, this time becoming resistance. And of course, guys, the most dreadful picture in my opinion is this Ichimoku cloud, because yeah, I mean, it's now a complete 100% rejection of the cloud. I mean, it's we've opened, we've closed below the candle, we've opened below the candle, and yeah, not good. I mean, you know, this is something we expected from way back here. You know, this is always something in every stream that I brought up as being an issue, and then as I said, a little bit near the middle of this EG cloud when we were about over here, I did start to get a little bit of confidence with it, but yeah, it's been a complete rejection now. The good news is, if we do go down to 6,800, and like I said, that would be the best case scenario, we want to see it hitting a definite level and then bouncing up, because what we are actually looking at, one second, let me just, there we go, okay. with this trend, I mean, if we do see 6,800 being the level that we bounce off, what that does mean is potentially the people selling off, they wanted to get in cheaper, they're happy to go with 6,800. We're talking about the big institutional players. Now, I'm not saying there's manipulation. I've gotten very tired of those arguments. They're pretty ridiculous. But nonetheless, I mean, they're the people with the bigger money. If we do see it dropping down to 6,800 and then some buyer action coming in, that is going to confirm that we are still fairly bullish, which would be a good thing. You know, right now I think bouncing off even this range, I mean, you know, it was $80 off 6,800. That's okay, but really what I want to see is, you know, perhaps even a wick below 6,800. You know, I wouldn't mind that if we even wick as low as 6,600 on the daily, but we close green, I'd be happy with that, because what I do want to see is that we hit 6,800 and then that line is actually defended by the bulls, and it takes us up higher and to nice levels there. And you know, playing into that good news I mentioned with this Ichi cloud, if we do you know, fall down to 6,800 and then we get a bit of a bounce up, we still don't have a very thick resistance cloud. So this is pretty good. It does play into further upwards movement. I mean, we are already closing up this cloud just a little bit. You know, if we can bounce off here and somehow, you know, all the stars align and we get all the bullish news coming out and all the scared shitless traders begin buying again, that would take us above this Ichimoku cloud, and you know, we would clear this resistance, which in my opinion is the strongest resistance, just because of how reliable this indicator has been. You know, like I show you all the time, we've had one rejection here, a second and third rejection here, and then yeah, a third or fourth rejection here as well. So, you know, if we can beat this, and you know, like I always show you, it's been a very reliable indicator for support. It's very reliable, as you guys now know, for resistance. You know, if we can breach one of the most reliable indicators in the market, in Bitcoin, that's pretty good news. That's, you know, that's really what we want to see. On the whole, I mean, it's this area now where it depends on what the market makers want to do. I mean, you know, going down from these levels, okay, it's fine. Like I've been showing you, though, Alessio Rostani actually brought up a lot of the same points I've been making, you know, with the Fibonacci retracement. Of course, the 618 line, as I always stress, being the most important retracement line. It's what Bitcoin respects the most, and that means we rally up, we go back by 61.8%, and then and that's when we can continue rallying upwards. That would, you know, like I said, that would actually be a very bullish picture, and like I show you with the 3-day candles, go ahead and take this off now. You know, we've had one down candle, a second, potentially a third, because guys, bear in mind this 3-day candle only opened today, I believe. Yeah, today. So we still do have another 2 days of trading for this 3-day candle to close, and so getting potentially another bearish candle could be, I mean, another red candle could be a good thing, as long as we do bounce off 6,800 support. That is going to mean that we still have our uptrend intact rather. But you know, we consider how much price action there has been around 6,800. Now I'll zoom into about the 1-day chart. I mean, you can see a lot of trading at this line, historically February, April, and June, July, and obviously right now in August. The 6,800 line has been very dominant, and so, you know, if we can drop down to this level but not go lower, that would be a very good sign for the bulls, and that, I think, would reinstate a lot of the confidence that we have in this, or that we don't have in this market at the moment. One more thing I wanted to go over, I completely forgot. Yes, so if we do actually break this, like I mentioned in the previous stream, if we do break $6,800, that is going to mean that, you know, the bulls have really lost a lot of power. It is going to mean we've dropped below the 618 resistance. We've failed a very key, very strong, perhaps, like I said, the strongest support level we have now. Yeah, it would be very bad news if we do breach this level. So this is definitely not what we want to see. But in light of that, I mean, you know, we are in a downtrend. The bullish news is doing nothing. We've now had one blue candle. And like I mentioned last stream, guys, we are going to get at least one blue/green candle. And we have exactly that now. I mean, this candle will close in about 2 hours and 50 minutes, so the chances are it closes blue as well. In this case, of course, meaning green, meaning a positive candle. I mentioned last stream it was bound to happen because you don't get straight downwards movement, but really one candle to break this trend is all we need. to continue downwards. So, you know, having this candle, like I said, I would have really liked to see it go as low as 6,800 and then bounce up. That would have been the ideal situation, but unfortunately, it was not the case. And so, seeing this blue reaction rally sort of candle, it's the volume was low. I mean, it's going to close with about just over half the volume of our previous red candles, and market wide, as you guys know, 10.7. I mean, the timing is terrible given that it's a Saturday and tomorrow is a Sunday. So, you know, getting these blue candles now is, I mean, they should have been a lot stronger if they were to mean anything, but I guess in this case, unfortunately, it doesn't. What else have we got? Yeah, I mean, I've gone, you know, like I said, this is really, I mean, right now you may as well flip a coin. I still think it's quite likely, given our continuation pattern, that we do end up breaking down, perhaps tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday at the latest, you know, given our weekly close. But, you know, actually on our weekly chart, we do have a bearish engulfing candle now. So on our monthly, we had a very slightly bullish engulfing candle, and right now we do have a bearish engulfing. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it is where the current candle closes and sort of overlaps, I guess, the previous candle. So you can see our, probably draw this to make it a bit more clear, our weekly candle goes like quite low, whereas our previous bullish candle, you know, I mean, you can see that the weekly candle is bigger. So not quite sure what kind of point I was trying to make with that, but that is a bearish engulfing candle, and it gives a bit of a hint towards what the overall trend would be. I mean, I don't see any way that we can now close above the previous weekly open with this weekly candle. I just don't think there's going to be any momentum for it. The you know, like I said, the buyers are very in a very fragile mindset right now. Not in the right frame of mind. I mean, it's all emotional rubber banding, like I've been saying, making people feel completely wrecked and scared to trade in these markets, as shown to us very clearly. I mean, this is the best indicator, as I always say, and people are scared of the market. I mean, we're at $10,700. Sorry, $10.7 billion traded within 24 hours. So, and I mean, you know, this happened on a green day, so... yeah, I mean, it does look like we could at least test 6,800, but like I said, you know, this, you know, we bottomed out $80 above 6,800. We can say that is touching the 6,800 line potentially, and we could definitely also go up from here. And in light of that, I mean, with so many mixed signals, even though I think it is quite likely we end up testing 68 at the very least, I'm still not going to put any money on that, just because I don't think it's a very good 3.5 billion Bitcoin volume. Yeah, exactly, Mastermind. If I buy, I affect the market. Yeah, I mean, literally all it takes is like probably a six-figure order to move the price fairly large, but fairly largely. But yeah, I mean, this is not a risk I would take to trade. It's just not a good risk to reward. I mean, you know, if you write it down, you've gone down what by $150. Sorry, no, $250, and I mean, that's okay, but you know, you can get bigger gains if you sit this one out and you be patient. But of course, as you guys know, none of this is financial advice. Too many optimists on here. Market structure breaks for a reason. Once that 21 EMA cherry popped, it was danger zone again. Well, something wrong. The 21 EMA is not the saving grace indicator that I think you're making it out to be. It is, of course, bad that we dropped below it. But I think the 618 retracement is far more important. So, as you guys know, I haven't been looking at the, you know, in particular, I haven't been looking at the 21 EMA, for example. It's just not something I base many... I mean, as an EMA, I love it. But if I had to choose between what's more reliable, whether it's the 618 retracement or the EMAs, it is without a doubt always probably going to be the retracement levels, just because the Fibonacci retracements are crazy accurate. I mean, it's surprising how accurate they are. What else have we got in the comments, guys? I mean, like I said, I've gone over all of my my analysis for this stream. You know, it is a quick one. I am trying to shorten these streams down by a fair bit. People tell me the length is okay, but I think for the people watching the replay, it is quite tiring to sift through, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes of stream. But Four Flies, the volume is because it's the weekend. Fashad, very good point. And like I said, I mean, that's just very unfortunate timing that it is the weekend, really. I don't use the ADX indicator, so I couldn't comment on that for you. If it's anything like the RSI in terms of like being a momentum indicator, I know it's like one of the indicators down here. I have no interest in it. They are not reliable. I mean, look how low the RSI is, and it's just Bitcoin's done nothing. So yeah, not a good indicator in the very I mean, at all. Crypto Arnie, what's up, man? Great to see you here in the chat. What settings do I have for the Ichimoku cloud? I'll go ahead and put them on for you. You can go ahead and pause the stream. It's right here, 2061, 2030. When under 6k soon, hopefully I'm short. Yeah, potentially could go that low, and I will definitely be shorting as well alongside you, brother. What else? You got your days mixed up. It's Sunday, almost Monday. Is it Sunday? Oh, shit. Oh, well, that changes a lot, doesn't it? Okay. Well, I'm not sure. I wasn't prepared for that. It kind of took me by surprise. I don't know why I thought it was Saturday. But yeah, I mean, you know, I guess if it's Monday tomorrow, then we can expect volatility coming in very soon. I guess in that case, it does line up with our current rising wedge, sort of bear flag formation. We can definitely start to break down fairly early in that case. Yeah, I mean, that's quite embarrassing. I should have known it's Sunday today. Heavy weekend, very heavy, Stuart. It's been very stressful here. What do you think about us being at disbelief of the market cycle chart? No homo. I completely think that's a very good possibility. It would make a lot more sense if we dip down to levels like 3,000 and then after a year we start talking about disbelief as well. But there's a lot of disbelief in the space already. So you see, the thing with disbelief is you only know in hindsight, because if everyone's calling that it's going to keep going down and then it goes up, you only know after it goes up that it was disbelief. Because if not, then it's not disbelief, it's actually, you know, people giving the correct signal, you know, if it does go down. So you only know if it's disbelief in hindsight. But I completely think it's possible that we are in disbelief right now. You know, there's still a lot of people calling for another crypto bull run this year, which is surprising for me. I mean, these are the same people that think we're going to go lower. So, you know, I think if we do break below 6,800, that's it. I mean, that's, you know, Alessio Lawrence, did I see the video? Yes, I did. And personally, I think if we do go that low, it is game over for Bitcoin. That's what I think. Yeah. Manish, how to join VIP? There's a link in the description, t.me/cryptomafia_gold. Go ahead and click on that, and then at the bottom of any gold post, go ahead and click at 4 flies at the bottom of those posts. Message me there, how do I join VIP, and I will give you all of the details. What about that we're in a bear market, we're still making lower highs? Arena, we absolutely are. You know, we've formed yet another lower high, so I mean, really, we want to see what happens with the 68 level, but if it breaks, that's all the confirmation we need. I mean, that's below the 618 retracement, the volume, even though it's telling us we're bullish, we'd still be bearish. We've broken a lot of very important lines. So, yeah, I mean, this is it's still a bear market. I mean, we're in a short-term bull market, assuming we bounce off 68, we'd still be in that bull market. But yeah, I mean, long-term trend, the overall trend is very much still bearish in this space. You know, I think one thing a lot of people miss out on is that to have ascensions like this, it requires new buyers. It requires a lot of excitement, a lot of promise of gains. This part is really important. It requires a lot of promise, a lot of hope, and right now that hope isn't there for one reason, only one reason, which is that people have been wrecked with Bitcoin. So no longer is it being associated with achieving financial freedom, it's being associated with losing it. I mean, most people don't even have it because of how society is structured, but losing what semblance of it you may have. You know, people getting completely, the average Joe getting completely smashed in this market. And that's not a climate that attracts FOMO. That's not a climate that attracts a bull market. That is a climate that attracts accumulation. Big players ready to buy in cheap. Potentially that means below $6,000. We will only know in hindsight. And yeah, so you know what? The more I look at it in the long term, it just looks like it could break down. I mean, yeah, it looks like it could break market structure a little bit. We will see. I mean, you know, we'll see with this 68 line. I mean, people talking about how this market is confusing for new players right now. I mean, it's confusing for me as well. It's confusing for everyone. This is not a friendly environment. I mean, we can obviously yesterday. I think I did show this yesterday. You know, we put in an order to short at 7,200. I posted the signal when we were here. We only moved down by 3.4%, but because I gave the leverage post as 25, we were able to multiply that move by 25 and then profit above 80% from that signal. So, you know, even though, like I said, this market is confusing, even for myself, we can still make money because you know, the way VIP works, as you will know, is we trade these short / midterm signals. I mean, I get a lot of questions about if you will have time to enter our posts in VIP, and I mean, if you look at where this was signaled, this was about 2 a.m. on the 3rd of August, and the move happened late on the 4th of August. So that was more than a 24-hour gap. So you will definitely have time to enter these signals. And yeah, I mean, that's how I mean, like I said, it's an uncertain time, but we can still very much profit from it, because these kinds of, you know, short midterm swings, we can predict these very easily. I mean, like I said, it's highly likely to go down to 6,800 and then at least bounce up. I just don't see it starting some sort of a bull run now. Like I said, it could mean that we've bottomed out since we've reached just $80 above 6,800, but I think since it's a continuation pattern, the volume is low, it's been a green day, yeah, I think it is going to mean that we go down before we go up, and this is the kind of thing that you can predict very easily with the short and midterm trends. But yeah, I mean, overall, it becomes a question of fundamentals, it becomes a question of adoption, and I think many of you guys know my stance on that, in that I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to be used as a currency, like to buy coffee, to buy, I don't know, a laptop or whatever. I mean, it's now there's going to be someone in the comments talking about how Starbucks is trying to accept Bitcoin, but you'd be missing the point. You know, that ship for Bitcoin being the world currency has sailed. That is almost definitely not going to happen, and so it becomes now a question of will the money go behind it? Will the people who want to start a bubble now, if they want to, will they come in? Will they be buying up? Are they buying now? Are they going to buy in much lower? And that becomes the question now. I mentioned ICX. What makes it a good hold in your opinion? No homo, it's a very fundamentally sound coin, and it has no reason to be going down this low. So I am a technical analyst first and foremost. I'm not so interested in fundamentals for most coins because, as we know, Tron, without any working product, reached, what was it, like the top 10 or something, and so did ADA. So fundamentals really don't count for much. I mean, they count for a lot in bear markets, as we know. But you know, ICX, I mean, it's still fundamentally sound. It's dry, and mainly, it has dropped so low. I mean, so low. The potential gains, if we look at the all-time high, I mean, it's where's my long tool? There it is. You know, if we look at the risk to reward ratio, I mean, it's bloody huge. You know, let's take a look at this. It is, I mean, I can't even go that high, but it's somewhere around here, and then, yeah, where is 0? So let's say, you know, we have a stop for, I don't know, 700 Satoshis. That is a risk to reward ratio of 17. 17 times risk to reward. You can see that just to the right of my mouse right now. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's a potential gain of 600%. Obviously, if it does go to all time, there's no guarantee it will. As you guys will know, these markets are extremely unpredictable, and it can crash at any time. But yeah, it is a very good. I mean, Mastermind. If I were holding coins, altcoins, as you guys know, I'm in 0 altcoin positions, save for Ethereum. I'm not about that wrecked life. I mean, it's been a bit of a reaction rally today, but on low volume, I'm not interested in any of the, alts. I'm still surprised, A, that people are holding them, and B, most of all, that people are buying them right now. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think there's definitely a very strong element of being stubborn. That the people who are still holding it, because that most of them are down like 90%. Gee, let's check out ICX. Is it down 90% yet? 90% is that like holy grail of shameful numbers right now, anyway. And the thing is, like, if it drops, yeah, so it's 86%. I mean, if it drops another 9% from here, that means another 90% loss. I believe, if I got my maths right there. So, people still holding on. I don't get it. I don't get it. I hate crypto. It's still my lifetime. Timeless being. It's wrecked a lot of people. It has, and like I said, that is not the climate. It doesn't make sense that right now, with a climate that everyone's being completely smashed by this market, that suddenly people are like, oh, I see a lot of opportunity here to get rich overnight, so let me just put my savings in here. I mean, that's not going to happen until we're in a bull market, and I've been saying for months now, it is going to need a slow recovery, and what's going to need to happen first and foremost is people like you and I in these streams trading, even in this climate, we are going to need to be showing that we've got a lot of profits. We're going to need to be having headlines of Bitcoin going up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, doesn't matter. We're going to need it to hit mainstream media headlines, which no doubt, if and when it rises again, it will. And we're going to need new promises of rising up again. That is what it's going to need, and so that's why it becomes a very tricky situation right now. On the whole, it's becoming a much more difficult picture for me right now. But if the 6,800 level does hold, I mean, that's very good confirmation for the bulls. And yeah, since it's Monday tomorrow, not Sunday, we will probably find out fairly soon. Guys, with that, though, I am going to be heading off. I have covered everything I wanted to and gone through a few of your questions. If you have enjoyed this stream, if you found it useful, please make sure to smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell so you don't miss out on these uploads. And, of course, if you're not already in the Telegram channel, then go ahead and join that. Did Yamari sound bearish now? I do a little bit. So I didn't mean to come across as very bearish in this stream. I did do so more than I intended, but I just want to see what happens with the 68 line. I've started to lose a little bit of faith. I mean, like I said, we are going to get one blue, one green candle breaking up this down wave, but it is only one. I mean, it doesn't have to be a rally of 5 candles up. It could only be one. It could even be a doji candle, and then we continue on downwards. So it's filled that criteria of breaking up our trend. It's done it on low volume, and it's hardly gone higher. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tricky situation. But yeah, guys, with that, I am going to be heading off. I really hope you have found it useful once again. And yeah, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm out. Peace.